Very, very good afternoon. Welcome back. Suhani, how are you?
I'm good. Today is the 10th session, and I'm very excited because it's the Deathly Hallows, which is my favorite book,
Okay,
to be
superb.
honest.
So,
I like the Deathly Hallows, the Prisoner of Azkaban, and the sixth movie, Half Blood Prince.
okay, wonderful. So, Suhani, for all our audiences, let me give a brief introduction again. So, team, this is a Spice of Life conversations with Suhani Raichura, which we began a few months back. Suhani, if I have to introduce her or tell something about her, she's an avid reader, a keen observer, and a connect the dot specialist. She begins her conversations, in a way that mesmerizes everybody who's watching her. I am so proud and have always been a proud father, and am very keen to keep moderating these sessions with Suhani. And while we've begun with discussing on the Harry Potter, and we've done this first 10 sessions on Harry Potter, we have one more to go after this. We're going to keep continuing discussing on the books that she's read or the movies that she's watched, and bringing out the fun facts, the life lessons, the engagements out of those, and keep conversing with all of you. So stay tuned with us. Keep your blessings and wishings for us. Do write in for how you would like to participate and you would like to share your insights. And with that, I would like to invite Suhani Raichura to mesmerize us again once more on the 10th session. So,
Hmm.
Suhani, let me begin by congratulating you. 10 sessions live in the last about 4 months is a wonderful job. So hearty congratulations for making that, and I really admire your spirit of reading the books, watching the movies. I think with with the Harry Potter, if I take as an example, you would have at least read the books 3 to 4 times, if I'm not wrong, the
Yes.
entire set of books, and you would have watched the movies, I don't know, 20 times, if I
Books also,
exaggerate.
like some chapters I've read 20 times because those are my favorites.
Okay.
Like, because, like when I like something, I really like something.
Which is so awesome. Okay, great. So over to you, Suhani. If I may request you to help us doing a small recap of the sessions, or the 9 sessions that we have done, or the Harry Potter 6 movies that we've completed discussing, and then take us through the Deathly Hallows.
So, in the last session, actually, I'll not do the whole thing because it'll take literally the whole session to explain all the books again.
Okay.
So, in the last session, we found out about some memories related to Voldemort and about his past and how that will help us find Horcruxes and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
to all the movie readers, movie watchers out there, I really like the books more because there's a lot, and same with another series which we are gonna probably do next. It's Percy Jackson. It's one of my favorite series now. So in Harry Potter, in the books, they've explained what the Horcruxes are. It's Nagini, Slytherin's locket, Marvellogaunt's ring, Hufflepuff's cup, and what else? Did I say Nagini already? Tom Riddle's diary,
Yes, you did.
and what else? And one more was there, I forgot. Okay, Voldemort's like Nagini, the locket, the cup, something of Hufflepuff or Ravenclaws, uh, Marvellogaunt's ring, and one more. What was it? Huff, no wait, Hufflepuff's cup, something of Gryffindor or Ravenclaws, Marvellogaunt's ring, Tom Riddle's diary,
Mm-hmm,
uh, Slytherin's locket,
mm-hmm.
and one more. What was that?
Is that Harry Potter?
Nagini.
Nagini, you said better.
Oh, then wait, why is Harry Potter included in that list? You're giving a big
No, I
spoiler here, even if it's not a spoiler.
Right. No, I will probably ask anybody who is here listening to you if they know about all the seven Horcruxes. Please feel free and type that out. And
Actually, yeah, I know,
Ravenclaw's
but like this
diadem.
is what Harry said. Like Ravenclaw's diadem is
Hmm.
another one of them. I said something of Ravenclaw Gryffindors because we needed like a little bit of like something to wait for. But
Hmm.
yeah, Ravenclaw's diadem, which is a crown. It's a type of crown, and
Okay.
Luna's dad was trying to replicate it in the books.
Very good. Great. Thank you, Siddharth, for reminding us on the Ravenclaw diadem. And thank you, Ashutosh, Jayan sir, Neil, for being with us today. Okay, great. Suhani, thank you for telling us about the Horcruxes. So now let's go into the Deathly Hallows.
Yeah. So today we are gonna start it a little differently. We're gonna start with the fun facts, then the life
Hmm.
lessons, and then the storyline.
Wow. Okay.
So let's start with the fun facts because they're the most fun parts. So this is like for the movie watchers, and this is mostly for the movie watchers because it's somehow related to like it's usually related to the movie. So the first is filming the Seven Harrys. The chapter is the Battle of the Seven Potters for the book readers. In that chapter, Harry, like Fleur, Bill, Mundangus, uh, Hermione, Ron, Fred, and George, and Harry himself. These are the seven Harrys. They like they are like all of them are played by Daniel Radcliffe, and he has to use a green screen and everything. So for that, so uh, for that, the scene was so complex that Daniel Radcliffe counted over 90 takes for just one single shot.
My God.
Like over
My
90
God. But
takes for
I
just one
can,
part.
which is amazing. And you know what, Suhani, I can relate to it because I have seen the movie and the way Daniel Radcliffe, while he was, acting as
Yeah, like
different people.
sometimes I even think that it's some people playing Daniel Radcliffe instead of Daniel Radcliffe playing other people. Because
Yes,
I think like
actually. And
actually
they've shot
it
it very
looks
well.
very magical.
Yeah, it does. It does. Okay. So 90 times. I'm just wondering about the patience and the repetition that they would have gone through. Amazing. I think that's a beautiful fact. Thanks for
So
sharing
like
that, Swan.
so the second fun fact is that like in the previous sessions also, Evanna Lynch designed a lot for a Luna Lovegood character. A lot,
Hmm.
like she designed the in the earlier series she wore these radish type of earrings. They're called bridgeable plums, by the way, if you didn't know. Those little
Okay.
radish earrings, she made them herself, Evanna Lynch.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And
Okay.
she designed a lot in this one also, like what she wore, jewelry, and things for the Lovegoods home. She even came up with their dance moves for the wedding scene, which she based on the concept of
Hmm.
wafting Vraxperts away, which is how it's said to have looked to
Okay.
Harry in the novel. So yeah,
Okay. Okay.
actually, I came back to the screen, and like so the Horcruxes are Gryffindor sword. No, Gryffindor sword is not the Horcrux, by the way. It's a destroyer of Horcruxes. So it's Harry, the locket, Nagini, Hufflepuff's cup, Riddle's diary, Parvelo Gaunt's ring, and what else? One more thing was there. Harry, right?
Yeah.
No, wait, I said Harry already. What is it? The
Will
locket, the
will
cup, right? Hufflepuff's cup, the locket, Slytherin's locket, um, Marvolo Gaunt's ring,
that is what was
Tom
missing from
Riddle's
me. Yes.
diary,
Yeah.
Harry. What else? There's more. There's
Diadem.
one more.
Ravenclaw's diadem.
Yeah, Ravenclaw's diadem, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful.
So
Thank you,
those are there.
Siddharth,
And Ivana
for.
actually came up with the move for the wedding scene, like how I said earlier. It's like this. They're doing. It's
Mhm.
very cute. I mean, I like the way Luna and her dad look in the movies. Like in a behind the scenes video which I watched, Ivana Lynch, she said that they actually feel like family after working with each other for 3 years. Or
Yeah.
So they were
Wonderful.
very close.
Okay. Great. So thank you for sharing that fun fact, Suhani. And
Yeah. So the third
I
one
think
is,
it happens. I'm sure it happens, Suhani, because when
yeah, because
you
like
work with
Daniel,
the same
Emma,
people.
and Harry, when they like after they were leaving set, they were almost like family. And Bonnie Wright, like in one scene, like it was not a scene; it was a behind the scenes thing. One of the Phelps, James Phelps or Oliver Phelps, whichever one, I can't tell the difference. One of them, they played Fred and George. So one of them came. They took like a, what do you say, a whoopee cushion. It's like that thing where you let it out and it comes out like a fart or like a big burst of air. And they put it behind her head, and she was like, "Ugh." And then they made a GIF out of this, and in the pin they were like, the look on her face is like, I've dealt with this for 10 years. You don't even know. Actual Weasleys. I love that.
Absolutely.
Actual Weasleys.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. So I want to ask, Siddharth, he's giving a lot of input. So Siddharth, have you been a Harry Potter fan throughout, or you've just built the interest now? Do let us know about
Actually,
that, because I
Quirrell's
think
not
you
a
seem to have
Horcrux the way
known
you
all of this.
said. He's a temporary
Yeah.
Horcrux. Well, he was just a
Okay.
temporary Horcrux. He's not like one of the permanent Horcruxes.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Great, Swani. So thank you for sharing those two fun facts. Is there anything more that you want to open up
Of
or let
course,
us
there
know
are
about it?
more. Yes, there's more.
Okay. Tell us
So,
more then.
like, over 500 wands were created for the film. They were checked out and checked
Okay.
in before, during, and after the filming days completed. Many came back
Okay.
broken. So like that were 500 wands. One more separate fun fact, like which is not related to this one. 180 pairs of glasses is what Daniel Radcliffe wore throughout the films. 180.
My God. But was that because
I'm
his
guessing 3 or 4 glasses he took for the Oculus Reparo scene, because like they
mhm.
had to fix the glasses. So it probably would have taken like 2 or 3 glasses. So that makes sense.
But 180 pairs.
Yeah, and over 500 wands.
My God.
Also, one
That's
more thing which I have against the movies is that how can you mess up the storyline? It's literally written out like a script. Literally, the characters, the scenes, everything's written out. You just have to act it out, use green screen and stuff. But can you make a 7-hour long movie for us bookworms, please? We need it to be cast perfectly. Literally. Also, one more bookworm thing. I am perfectly
Mhm.
willing to have a 4 hour conversation over a book. Perfectly willing.
Wow.
And
Awesome.
after reading a
No.
book, this is my status. I am 100% certain that I'm 0% sure of what to do right now.
I like that. 100% certain of 0% sure of what you want to do right now.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I like bookworm humor. It's fun. So, one more fun
Great.
fact.
So Siddharth,
Upon
yeah.
seeing the set for Hermione's bedroom, Emma Watson told the
Mhm.
set decorators that there should be more books, which they happily accommodated.
Mhm. Wow.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
Ollivander and Gregorovich are best wand makers. True, but I kind of prefer Ollivander's more. Gregorovich was a bit of a foreign wand maker, so I don't know much about him, but Ollivander was really nice, is what
Yeah.
I think.
And great. And I would request you to type in your name as well, because I keep referring to you as Siddharth. I know you're Siddharth's son. Thanks for sharing that. Tell us your name, beta. We would like to know your name as well. Okay. So Ani, I think you've mentioned one more fun fact, and what is that? In the about the opening of the film when Hermione is called down to tea.
Yeah, that
What is
in the
that
opening of
about?
the film, when Hermione is called down to tea, like her parents just call her down for tea, we can hear her parents talking about Australia along with an announcer, presumably on the TV, talking about a countryside. This is the reference to the book, in which Hermione says that not only wiped herself from her parents' memories, but she gave them new identities and made them think that they love nothing more than move to Australia, which we presume that they do.
Okay, okay. Wow. So I don't think I've seen that part in movie.
No, that wasn't there in the movies.
Okay. Hey, great. Thanks,
Also, one
Maid.
more thing
Thanks for
which
saying
I
that.
don't like about the movies is that they show Ron only as Harry's friend, and they take out all the parts where Ron is actually shown as Harry's good friend. Like all they want to portray Ron as is the Harry's sidekick friend, and they take out all the parts where Ron is actually a good friend.
Okay.
I
So,
mean, one
so
of my favorite scenes of Ron was in the third books, and it was like Ron was standing up to Sirius Black, who is a prisoner who has escaped from Azkaban after 13 years, and telling him that if you want to kill Harry, you'll have to kill us too, as in Hermione and Ron.
yeah,
And he was doing it when his legs was injured. So, like,
right.
true
No,
friendship,
I am
seriously.
I'm truly I am really inspired by those friendships there, Swani. And not only the third movie, I remember the first movie as well, where they went to play the chess, and where they had to go inside the, I think the chamber. I think the first movie or the second movie. I don't. First movie, I think.
No, the first
And
movie.
Ron,
Yeah, but it wasn't a
yeah,
chamber. It was a third floor corridor, I think.
yeah, so third floor corridor probably. Point was the same that there was a possibility of Ron getting killed in that game of chess, but he was very courageous to stand still there and tell Harry that, boss, you make the next move. Don't worry about me. You need to go there and find out those details. So I think Ron has been
Yeah,
an excellent friend of Harry and Hermione.
yeah. Um. Uh. Also, I relate to Maid. He thinks
Hmm.
that Sirius Black is his favorite character, and I can
Hmm.
totally relate. And I really like the Sirius Black character, but I don't like the way Joanne put him. Like he's there in the third movie, he's there for a couple scenes in the fourth movie, he's there in the fifth movie, and he dies in the fifth movie. I mean, come on, at least let him last till the seventh movie.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
absolutely
but like
correct.
also, I would love to see, instead of making Harry an Auror, which he wants to do, he should have become a Hogwarts Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher because he was so good at teaching Dumbledore's army.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I think, but I would say Harry Potter was an all-rounder. So he could be a teacher of the dark arts. He could probably be the dean of Hogwarts University, or he
it's
could
not
also
a
be
dean
the order
actually. He could be a headmaster actually in the.
headmaster. Yeah, he could be the headmaster.
But I
And
think Minerva is
so
like
let
great at that. Professor
hmm
McGonagall. I
hmm
mean, she
yeah,
is
yeah,
literally
I
the
agree.
best. And in the fifth book, we
Yes,
find out why she's the best. Because that have a biscuit Potter was literally the biggest plot twist of history.
yes, it was.
Literally the biggest. Not even the fact that Harry himself was a Horcrux was bigger than that plot twist. Because
Okay,
like
wonderful.
seriously.
Right. So now from the fun facts, Suhani, shall we move into talking about the life lessons and then actually get into the plot of the movie?
Yeah, sure. So the first lesson is, but with true friends, you're never alone when help is needed. All
Wow.
throughout the series, and definitely in this film and the next film also, Ron and Hermione will never leave their friend's side, despite Harry's constant responsibility of not wanting others harmed for what comes upon himself. It's a great
Hmm.
unconditional love that never feels cheesy, forced, or over the top. There may have been like arguments and brief separate differences and minor separations here and there, But through and through, Harry will always have powerful backup. That support grows when you count the wizard higher ups
Okay.
and fellow classmates who emerge to fight the side of good and risk their lives for the chosen one.
Wonderful.
So like
I think
you
that's
know how like everyone stayed to fight in the Battle of Hogwarts. Slytherins didn't,
yes.
but I would love it if instead of Cedric in the fourth movie, it would be a Slytherin who was chosen, a Muggle-born Slytherin, and then after
Hmm.
that, in the Deathly Hallows, in the fight of Battle of Hogwarts, all Slytherins stayed to fight for their friend, and Voldemort
Wow.
being outnumbered by his own house. Also, I would
Superb.
love
No,
it if
I
Harry calls.
remember.
Also, I would love it if Harry called Voldemort Tim Riddle. So then Voldemort would be like, it's not Tim Riddle, it's Tom Riddle. Also, it's not Tom Riddle, it's Voldemort.
Yeah. No,
And then Harry would
absolutely.
be like, classic Tim. Like,
Yes.
see, the whole Tim Riddle was like such a funny thing. Like, it's a pen. Saw it on Pinterest just yesterday, but it was so funny.
Hmm.
Like Tim Riddle. Can you
Yeah, I
imagine
know.
Harry actually saying Tim Riddle?
No, I can't imagine that.
Also, my favorite chapter is in the books. It's the Battle of Hogwarts because I love that book. Like the chapter, it was so heroic and also very nice.
Mhm. Right. Okay. So,
So
Suhani, tell
like,
me one thing. You just mentioned about the friendship. With true friends, you never alone when help is needed. So, tell me, who do you consider as one of the true friends?
one of my truest friends is actually a fellow Potterhead, so that's lucky.
Hmm.
And like, her
Hmm.
name's Kanaka. She's been on she's commented on these sessions a lot. And I've been
Hmm.
friends with her for 6 years, so
Hmm.
it's like
Wow. So,
she's
fifty
my
percent of your
truest
life,
friend.
50% of your life, you've been friends with her, Suhani.
Yeah, 50. Yeah,
Okay. Great.
yeah.
So, and what
Also,
does
in the
what does
comments, my favorite chapter is the flaw in the plan. That's also one of my favorite chapters. The Battle of
Mhm.
Hogwarts and uh, flaw in the plan. It's my favorite.
Okay, got
So
it.
like when I'm like relating to me and Kanaka, it's like a Luna Ginny relationship because Ginny always stood up when like to others and they call Luna Loony Lovegood, and like it was really nice because Luna was so different from others and she was special, and people
Hmm.
even though they teased her, she stood up to like she got better. And in um in a pen I saw that they've compared Luna, uh, Ron, Ron, Harry, um, what else? Ron, Harry. I don't know. There were a lot of them, but they compared Luna to Snape. Snape was called
Hmm.
Scrivelius by Harry's dad, James,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
Luna was called Loony. But
Okay.
Snape didn't survive. Like he died. So I don't like Snape.
Hmm.
So, but Snape was very. He didn't like the name at all, but he was not very big on like Luna was very proud of herself, and she didn't care if she was called Luna or Loony or even I don't know what. She was just a happy person
So,
who was like
Suhani,
okay with being teased.
right.
Even
So,
and
Suhani, I
she's
want to
like,
interrupt.
what, I don't care.
Yeah, Suhani, I want to
Yeah.
interrupt. So, you spoke about the first life lesson, which you spoke about the friendship. With true friends, you're never alone when help is needed. Now, can you take us to what are the other life lessons that you've picked up from this book?
Sure. So the dead are always with you.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether you believe it, believe in, exist with, or worship an organized or unorganized religion, the dead people you care about are always with you because of the memories and times you've shared that never leave your thoughts. Harry has always had his parents' love, his
Mm-hmm.
godfather's support, and Dumbledore's wisdom, guide, and strength, and they strengthen him when times are difficult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what do you want to say with this? What is your message, or what is the life lesson that you're talking about?
I feel like, dead or, if I relate to me, I like people who are even like if you relate to fictional characters, if you're a total bookworm like me, which is like you relate to fictional characters and you always want fictional characters, you will always have their help, their support, their wisdom with like in things that you do. So you will never ever feel that you're alone if you read books. It's like a place where you
Mm-hmm.
always have friends. So that's why I love reading.
Okay. Great. Thank you for
Also,
sharing that.
speaking about this thing here right now, I feel that Dumbledore is a bit dumb. One more fun fact: Dumbledore's name literally means bumblebee. So weird.
Right. Okay. Great. So let's move on to the next life lessons that you've written. So for everyone, thank you for being here with us. I want all of you to know that the entire life lessons, the fun facts, the plots is something that Suhani prepares, and that's the entire creation that she does. So stay tuned, and I'm therefore so glad that she's sharing her perspective on the life lessons that she's brought up. Okay, Suhani, you've written the life lesson 3 as being the better man. What does that mean?
That means this one character trait. This is one character trait that Harry always had, continuing through the end here.
Hmm.
He feels enormous
Hmm.
personal
Hmm.
regret and responsibility towards those who sacrifice so much for his success. He takes a high road
Hmm.
when bullied and helps those who wouldn't do the same for him. He discounts the hero
Hmm.
worship that comes from being the chosen one and doesn't thirst for power. He values life, just wants to be an equal to his peers and have the life he didn't have growing up. Despite his vast importance, his humble and tragic origins have made him into this commendable opposite of a man to Voldemort. And also, I
Okay.
feel really sad about this because the only reason Harry was such a hero, this whole hero thing, was because of how he was treated when he grew up. He felt
Hmm.
like he had to be the hero because no one else would. Because
Yeah.
to him, because of being bullied in his life and everything, he felt that he was the only person who would do this. So, like, suppose let's take the fourth book as an example. When he rescued Fleur's sister, Gabrielle, he thought, would Dumbledore let her stay here? Yeah, he would. So let's rescue her. Except Dumbledore wouldn't do that. Though Harry had this whole hero thing just because he felt that he would be the only one who did it.
Beautiful. Awesome.
I feel sad about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's move to the next one, Suhani.
So great heroes and villains are always linked. Speaking of
Okay.
opposites and going back to any layer of fiction, from Greek myths to modern fantasy, a great hero only reaches that level of greatness when matched against a great villain, and vice versa. They are both
Mm-hmm.
what each other cannot be measured against to the point when really one cannot exist without the other. Harry and Voldemort and their respective fates and destinies are forever linked and have been since their origins.
Wow, I think that's a very beautiful perspective, Swani. Never thought about it, but what you're saying makes sense. That great heroes and villains are always linked.
Yes, and
And
no one is like fully good or fully bad. Even Harry has his bad points. Voldemort had, I don't think he had his good points, but he could have. So, like, um, every one is not like a shade of white and black. While white is good and black is evil. Everyone's a shade of gray. You might be more good than you are bad. You might be more bad than you are good. But there will always be some part of you which is good or bad. It
Mm-hmm.
depends
Mm-hmm.
on the part you choose to act on. That's who you truly are. Is what I'm relating to Sirius's line
Right. So would this
from the.
also mean, Swani, that the great heroes and villains, which are always linked, are actually within you as well, within each one of us?
Yeah, everyone has this good part of them and everyone has this bad part of them. Depends on what they listen to. Or
Hmm. Perfect. Great. Hey, Maid, thank you. Siddharth, thank you for this acknowledgement. Suhani, Siddharth is one of my old friends. And sorry, one of my friends. He's not old. And he's complimented you for the session. And Maid, his son, has really enjoyed the session. So, thanks, Maid, for participating. And thank you, Siddharth, for the compliments.
yeah. So
Right?
now the life lesson 5, which is one of my favorite life lessons right now. The highest level of courage. Different
Mm-hmm.
acts of varying degrees get the label
Okay.
and credit of being courageous. Many times for the wrong reasons or too high a level of acclaim. Many times simple. Uh, Life decisions that involve an inconvenience. For example, going green, a consequence. Following the rules when others are not. Overcoming a fear, let's say a fear of skydiving, or making a seemingly big change. Get the courage tag. Those examples do require some level of courage. But the highest level of courage is wait. The highest level of courage is 1 second. Okay, I lost it. I lost my screen right there. Oh god.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to help you reading it out?
No, I got it. I got it. Hold on. I'm
Okay.
almost done. Almost got it. Okay, there we go. Um, those
It's
examples
also
do require some level of courage, but the highest level of courage is the willingness to give one's life for the other. There is no greater courage or sacrifice. Several characters in these final two films, while fictitious and occupy a world of magic, personify that level of courage and are a very worthy life lesson example for us in the audience. So it's
wow.
like,
And while you explain this point, Suhani, I want to therefore mention, the reason, and I want to take this moment to actually acknowledge two sets of peoples. One is the entire set of army, navy, uh, the air force personnel, the armed forces, and then the entire police forces who do whatever it takes from their side to help us. And the biggest thing they stand for is the willingness to fight and be in front of all the bullets and all the tanks that would come to even create an impact for us as a nation, or any harm. And that's where they are called the warriors. And there's a huge amount of respect for them. And I think the second, during this pandemic, what has emerged as the warriors are those
doctors and
yeah, the
people who work
doctors.
in the hospitals and you know
Beautiful. So people who, doctors, nurses, people who work at the hospitals, those cleaners, those caretakers, those people who, the ward boys, the bai that we call maushi, typically where that is called in the hospitals, and even the essential good suppliers. While we are restricted and we are blessed to get everything at our doorstep, there is an entire set of those people who work on ground to make life easy and simple for us. So relating to the point of, where you're saying the highest level of courage, I want to take this moment to really applaud them, congratulate them, and thank them for what they do for us. Thank you everyone who's listening, or if there's anybody who's not listening but there, I want to thank them all
I
for
remembered
doing
a
this for us.
quote which I don't know who said it, but like great to whoever did. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather
Hmm.
the judgment that something else is more important than fear.
She's so good, Sohani. Very well said. What has been the highest level of courage for you in life?
Courage, I don't know. I feel like I was always a person who, felt that, friends, they don't come and go and everything. And standing up to my friends is something I was not very good at. But I
Hmm.
have been now like more blunt, more blunt is a little blunt to say the least, but like I've been more straighter with them. I've been more standing up for myself, self-respect and stuff like that. That was harder for me, but now I'm getting that courage, and which I
Okay,
think is my highest level of courage.
wonderful. That's really good to know, Swani.
I
God
think
bless. And
standing for you what you believe in is perfectly fine. Yeah, people might consider it rude, people might consider it strange of you to think that way, but you have to keep going because that hard work will come out one day and people will see that you were right all along.
beautiful. No, that's right. And Swani, that's Uma Maushi who's written the comment for you.
One
And
more lesson I get personally from Harry is that you are the product of your own choices in life. True,
beautiful.
true. Even Harry says this. Like he's like, love was what saved him, but I think Harry became Harry because of Harry.
I like that, Swani.
Because like you become yourself because of yourself, which is again a little poetic. But whenever whatever, even small choices, like let me just take a weirdly weird example. Like suppose you want to watch suppose you want to watch television and you're like, should I watch a TV series or a book, like of or a movie? So
Hmm.
even that small choice can define who you are, because it really
Beautiful.
can. Even if you choose a genre of reading like sci-fi, fantasy, non-fiction, fiction, all those genres, they really help define who you are. Because reading different types of books can affect your mindset in life. Because like
Yes.
suppose you're reading self-help books, like I love reading Chicken Soup. That adds a lot of value and also makes helps you make sense of life, which makes you a much wiser person. Whereas if you like sci-fi and fiction, it means that you're more of the creative, um, I can daydream all day long about fiction type of person. Then it just adds that thing to your personality, right? So
Yeah.
I think books, movies, small things that you think are like um, unimportant, it helps you a lot. Like for example, I write a journal every day, and who knows, that might be defining my personality. Maybe now, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a month, maybe in 10 years, but it will define my personality somehow.
Yes, it will. And I loved the fact, two things. One is, Swani, I love the fact that you actually make it a point to write your diary daily. And, that's something that you've been doing with a lot of discipline. I appreciate that. And I love
Since
Shalaka's
third
comment.
March, I think.
Shalaka, yeah,
Since
3rd March, you
since
said,
third
right?
March, I've been writing. Yeah.
Yeah. So for everyone to know,
And I
Swani
would
is writing her
recommend this to
diary.
everyone who is like out there. Please start writing a diary, a journal. It really helps actually. And people might think that my life is boring. I have nothing to write about. Or what should I write about? If I write every day, won't I run out of things to write about? The answer is no. You will never run out of things to write about. Who knows? You can take a whole page writing about this session right now. Who knows? Who cares? And also, if you're starting daily journaling, if you're already journaling and you want to start daily, I would recommend a time earlier in the day. And if after you've gotten used to that, then you can go on to a time later in the day because you have prioritized journaling in your life, which I have. Yesterday I wrote at 11:30, I think. That's how late I wrote, but I make it a point to write it before 12 every day.
Right. And that's after a special coffee session that we had in the evening at
Yeah,
about
we had coffee
10:45.
yesterday.
Okay. So, Suhani, I loved what mom is written. She's just converted your, I think Harry became Harry because of Harry to real life, which
No,
is,
I
you
said
become
you
yourself
become
because of yourself.
yourself because of yourself. I said that
Yeah.
actually.
Very good. Wonderful. Thank you, Shalaka, for typing that out. And Swani, there is somebody special here online for you.
Hi, Salva. Okay, I just said that. That was really weird, but he's my mama, so okay.
Wonderful. Great. So, Suhani, we spoke about life lessons, we spoke about fun facts. Do you want to quickly take us through the plot of the movie Deathly Hallows Part 1? And, so that the audience is with us and they want to listen to us. So, maybe if I request you for the next 5 minutes, if you can cover the plot for us?
Okay, that is not going to be possible. First of all, I'm a book reader, so why am I talking so fast? But okay, so I can't finish the whole plot in 5 minutes because it's just not possible. It's a book,
Okay.
it deserves special time, and we don't have time today. So maybe we can do this in the next session.
No, let's at least begin by talking about that, and let's see how
So,
much we can complete. Else, we'll
Deathly
continue.
Hallows. We are going to start at the burrow, which is Ron's house. And
Mhm.
for all the people who've heard, Fleur and Bill Weasley, are getting married.
Mhm.
And Bill's part werewolf, you can say he has some wolfish characteristics because he got bitten by Greyback.
Mhm.
So they're gonna have a marriage and everything. Harry is, there are gonna be a lot of deaths because of the Battle of Hogwarts. So warning you all. But one of my I hate that this fact that I will share in the next session, but it's like right in the feels because it's like so sad, but it's also very weird. So I'll tell you next time. And
Mhm.
also,
Mhm.
a lot of stuff will happen, like Ron and Hermione and Harry and the friendship, and Luna will also play a minor role, and Dobby will come back. Yes, Dobby, who we have not, for all the movie watchers, we've not seen for I don't know how many sessions. And in the books, he was like a regular occurrence. He was there all the time.
Okay.
Because Creature, like if you didn't know, um, Dobby worked in the Hogwarts kitchens.
Mhm.
In the books, and he worked there, and he came to Harry. He suggested the whole room of requirement thing to Harry.
Okay. Beautiful.
Also, Dolores Umbridge is also gonna be there in this movie.
Mhm.
So yeah, and speaking of Umbridge, uh, I really love the way McGonagall dealt with Umbridge in the fifth book. Because when they were doing, she's always like hem, and then one time, when they were doing the order cuts, when they were doing the jobs application thing, like they were selecting the jobs or what they want and everything. Umbridge was coughing, like she was fake coughing so much that McGonagall once turned back to her and was like, "Do you want a cough drop, Dolores?" I was just like, wow. It was like, wow.
Beautiful. Okay. Wonderful, Swani. So, what else did happen in this movie?
So we find out, where uh, Voldemort's staying as of the moment, and we find out a lot
Mhm.
about, a little bit more about the ghosts actually in the books. There's a little bit
Mhm.
more about the ghosts. If you're a movie watcher, you probably have never heard of the Bloody Baron or Peeves, but book readers, we know Peeves and we know the Bloody Baron.
Yes.
And like Nearly Headless Nick also plays a minor role.
Mhm.
And we learned a lot more about the Dumbledores. Aberforth, Ariana. Yeah, that's their sister, not Ariana Grande. Please do not confuse with her.
So, will you
Okay.
be able to share
And
the
we learned a
story
lot
of?
more about Dumbledore, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
will you
Albus
be?
Dumbledore, not the Dumbledore family. Actually, we learned about that also. And we find out about wizarding fairy tales. So I
Mm-hmm.
am a fan of normal fairy tales, but after hearing Wizarding fairy tales, I love those too because one of my favorite fairy tales is in this book, like Wizarding fairy tales. It's called The Tale of the Three Brothers. It's really
Yes.
nice.
So I was going to ask you that would you be able to share the tale of the three brothers with us?
Right now,
Yeah?
hmm. Okay, I will have to do this off of memory because
Hmm.
I don't have. I have it in the session plan, but it's not like clear. So,
Okay.
the three brothers were traveling down a windy road at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
They uh, went to. They reached at the end of the road and they found water. There was a big uh, river, I think, and being very advanced in the magical arts, they formed a bridge. And Death spoke to them. Like Death came out of the water and spoke to them, and he was very angry because uh, travelers usually drowned in the river. And Death pretended to be friendly, and he congratulated them, and he asked them to tell him about if they want what gift do they want from Death. So um, the first brother asked for a wand which was unbeatable, and the Death fashioned a wand from a nearby elder tree. The second brother asked for a stone that would bring back the dead, and Dumbledore picked up a stone and enchanted it from the picked up a pebble from the water and enchanted it so that it could bring back the dead. And the last brother, being the cleverest and wisest, he asked for a thing that would allow him to move around without Death seeing him. So Death handed away a piece of his own invisibility cloak. So um, what happened was, after that, the three brothers went separately. The first brother went to a place, went to a went back to a place where an enemy of him had where an enemy of him was, and then he went and he killed that person, his enemy, and he what he did was he killed that person and then he boasted of his wand. Then another enemy, he took the wand when he was sleeping, when the brother was sleeping, and slit his throat for good measure. So then Death took that brother as his own. The second brother um, went back to his old place, went back to his home, and turned the stone three times in his hand. And the woman he loved came back and um, you know she was very sad because she didn't deserve in the mortal world. So like she didn't live in the mortal world. So he killed himself to go to her, and Death took the second brother as his own. The third brother, however, like
Hmm.
he was Death looked for the third brother, but he was never able to find him because of the cloak. And at last, Death, after reaching of old age, the third brother gave his invisibility cloak to his son and went to Death as old friends, parting the world as equals. So
Wow.
the first brother died for power, the second brother died for lost love, and the third brother greeted Death as an old friend.
Wow.
And
I think
those
that is
were
so
the three
wonderfully put.
Deathly Hallows. The first one, the wand was the elder wand, the stone was the resurrection stone, and the cloak was the cloak of invisibility. And together they made the Deathly Hallows.
Wow. Shoni, show it close to the camera.
This is my own Deathly
Wow.
Hallows necklace. So this is
Beautiful.
the elder wand, the resurrection stone, and the cloak of invisibility.
Beautiful. So, Swani, would you tell me for again the last summary part that the first brother died
Died
for?
for power.
Okay.
The second
The,
brother died for lost love. And the
okay.
third
I'm
brother
just going to
greeted Death as
mention
an
this
old
for
friend.
you. Wonderful. That's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing
Yeah,
that,
that's
Swani.
one of my favorites. It's from the Tales of Beedle the Bard, which is like a children's stories type of thing, and it's like a full book by Beedle the Bard. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know who he is, so if you're wondering, no, I don't know. But we are going to. There is a special book collection which I really want. Actually, it's It's a set of three books, and it's the Hogwarts Library. Quidditch Through the Ages. We all know that's Harry's favorite book. It's the only book he actually will open to read. He
Mm-hmm.
sat down to read because he loved Quidditch. The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and the Tales of Beedle the Bard. So these three books.
Awesome.
Also,
Great. Mm-hmm.
one more fun fact about this story is that um, the three um, brothers, the Peverell brothers, Antioch, Cadmus, and Ignotus, are some of believed to be the three brothers from the Wizarding legend. So each
Okay.
possessed the Deathly Hallows, Antioch the Elder Wand, Cadmus the Resurrection Stone, and Ignotus the Cloak of Invisibility. Ignotus
Wow.
Peverell lived in Godric's Hollow. So actually, James was related, like from his dad's side, he was related to Ignotus Peverell, which makes Harry a descendant of the Peverells.
And that's how the invisibility cloak comes to Harry.
Yeah, and also Voldemort's uh, related to Cadmus, the second brother. He's related because the Gaunts are related to the Peverells,
Okay.
to
And
which
that's how he gets the stone.
no, he doesn't get the stone. His grandfather, Marvellogaunt, had the ring which had the stone in it. So I he didn't think it was a stone. But what does Voldemort care about the stone and the cloak? He doesn't need them. And anyways, he fears the loved. He does not love at all. So why would he need the stone, right?
Yeah, that's
So
correct.
he only has his eye on the first.
Okay. Beautiful. I think that's very well done, Swani. I think there have been so many people today to listen to you and to share their wishes and blessings. I take a moment to thank all of them for staying with us. Is there anything more on the plot that you want to cover before we close the session for today, Swani?
Yes, big cliffhanger. What should I
Okay,
say?
please do that.
What
How can we
cliffhanger should
go
I give?
without the cliffhanger?
Yeah, the Weasley twins have a bit of trouble. Well, not trouble. They have some bad things happen to them. The Weasley twins, as in Fred and George, or George and
Mm-hmm.
Fred. I don't know why people call.
Okay.
I don't know why, but they're always referred as Fred and George, as if they're one person. But they're not. They're
Mm-hmm.
George and Fred, Fred and George. They can be related anyways. So, like, they both have something bad happen to them, and we'll find out more in the next session.
Okay.
And I'm the queen of
Okay.
cliffhangers. I am
Thank
now
you,
the
Miss
queen of
Queen
cliffhangers.
of Thank you, Miss Queen of Cliffhanger, and thank you for a wonderful, engaging session. Thank you, everyone, for staying back with us and enjoying the session with us. We'll look forward to connect with you again next Saturday at 11 o'clock. Today was an exception where we made it Sunday. So see you again next Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning. Thank you. Thank you, Swani. Have a great
Bye.
weekend.